What's going on, everybody? It's time for a tier list of the Jedi faction and Galaxy of Heroes. I've done one of these before. It was years ago, though. It was quite a long time ago, so we've got a lot of Jedi since then. The Jedi faction has gotten better, but at the same time fallen a little bit down in the rankings. They still have two GLs, and Ufu's kind of overtook them, but we still got a lot of good quality Jedi to talk about. But first, we're going to be starting from the bottom with the worst Jedi. We got in the F tier, Amagundai, Jedi Knight Guardian, and Eth Koth. So these three just don't really have any potential use. I mean, really at all. I put Eth Koth nominally in front because he has a support tag, and there was at one time people got excited about him doing more damage under Ki-Adi-Mundi. And if Zealous Ambition comes back in Conquest, that could be useful. Eth Koth, I guess, I don't even know if he's support or not, but he doesn't really do much at all. None of these are worth anything. As by comparison, the D tier does have some value. We got Jedi Consular at the bottom. And Ki-Adi-Mundi, no, what's his name? Kit Fisto, that's his name. He at least had a very crucial role in the Naboo raid, which just recently got decommissioned as the main raid, but it's still out there. I'm sure one guild in all of Galaxy of Heroes must at least run it. Maybe, I don't know, some crazy guild. Jedi Consular gets up into D because even though he's a pretty useless character, he does have a ship. And that ship is basically useless too. But at least gets him into the D tier instead of the F tier. Ezra, there's a lot of Ezra fans out there, especially very new players that will kind of be upset at this. But I bumped him all the way down to D because he has no real place except right at the beginning before you can unlock like Captain Rex. Like on Phoenix, you don't even use him. Like even at the very beginning, even when you're just trying to clear Galactic War, for your first few you might. I actually did use him for the first few on the Go Tanks account, but after that he just has no place. Like you don't use him with Jedi, you don't use him with Phoenix. Just no real place in the game. So that's why I bumped him down to D. C tier is more characters that do have some use, but it's very limited and they're very much kind of background role players. And in the C tier, we start to see some real, actually useful characters, which some are borderline, some are not. Luminara, Kanan, Bastila, Juhani, Plo Koon, Old Ben, Jolie, and Barriss. Now, Barriss is at the top of the C tier, and she got bumped down just because we have a really packed B tier. We have a decently full A tier, and then we have a pretty exclusive S tier, but even then, this top of the bracket is a lot more full than the bottom of the tier list. So Barriss, I think she has pretty consistent use somewhere. You can put her in a lot of teams and she will be of some value, but not all the time. She's not like dominantly necessary. She just adds a lot of healing, and she has, you know, a good spot on a raid team from time to time. Luminara, the only thing getting her into C tier from D tier is her Omicron, which is very hard to actually make use of. I'm not sure what team you actually run her with because it excludes protection up, and everyone that she'd go well with gives protection up somewhere. Kanan, you know, he's more valuable on the Phoenix team. The Phoenix team is not super valuable in the end game, but he is a necessary component of that. And when they have the right setup, the right things going for them, they can take out teams like Riva or, you know, Galactic Legend that doesn't have turn meter reactivity like JML or old school Lord Vader. Not really anymore. We haven't really had that as a viable counter for a while. But he's not super amazing because even when Phoenix can beat Riva, you can just sub him out for any random tank and they're fine. Bastila, she's seen better days, but she's a really great early game leader, and she does have some good value potentially with Jedi Revan. Just recently, I was able to take down Galactic Legend Ahsoka, with Bastila being a key part with the boost she gives to Revan and potency, tenacity, and all that kind of stuff, and the counter chance from her battle meditation. That battle meditation is still quite a valuable tool. Just when she takes a turn, it's automatic buff given out to everyone. Tons of potency, tons of counter chance. Really nice. Juhani gets up to this point because of her TW Omicron. If not for that TW Omicron, she is garbage. So with that, it's basically unlocking a Star Killer team to be used in TW. Other than that, she's complete trash. Plo Koon gets the nod up above her because he's not the best on land. Like in TW, Juhani would abuse him. But he does have an awesome ship. And I am trying to give, props to characters that are pilots if their ship is decent, but it's going to be a smaller weight. I am trying to, consider most of the game in mind. I consider Grand Arena the most important. Raids are very important, but they're just cyclical now and just faction exclusive. But trying to give it thought to the game as a whole. I do love his turn meter that he grants up to everybody. That's a very useful generic ability to give turn meter to everybody. Old Ben, he does have his uses somewhere in some places. He's a decent tank add-on to a Star Killer team if you don't have anything else. But that Star Killer team, the standard old school, is falling by the wayside, at least in the end game. So that's just kind of the canary in the coal mine for what is actually valuable in this game. And these characters in the C tier don't really have as much play at that end game. Jolie, once fantastic, once one of my favorite characters, revives a whole team. That's so broken. How could you even do that? It was crazy in 2018 and 2019. But we've gotten to the point where it's not enough. On offense, he's rarely going to be in a situation where enough allies die and he can bail them out, where you can still be in a winning position. And on defense, people know how to handle him. So poor Jolie, I didn't really do too much with him on my small account when I came back and played the game all the way through starting in 2024. And then Barris, I already kind of talked a little bit about her. She has pretty good value generically. And now for the B tier. I did move my mic. I don't know if it's noticeable, but I moved it closer to me, so maybe it sounds a little better. I don't know. But B tier, we start to see some real players. They're role players, but they're very solid and competent all around. And I'm sure this is probably where it starts having a lot of bones for contention. Bane of contention? I don't know. But we got Kyle Katarn from bottom to top. Kyle Katarn, Ayla Secura, Grandmaster Yoda, Ahsoka Tano Snips, Kiadi Mundi, Hermit Yoda, Deepa Balaba, Qui-Gon, Temple Guardian, and Shak T. So last time I did a rating, I had Shak T kind of lower in the B tier, and she was the number one. It was a while ago. She was the number one complained about placement, where I got the most comments of like, oh, you ranked her too low. But the field has shifted. This ranking at the top of B tier is a little bit higher than it was, is a better status than it was that last time. But she just has great all-around value. She's been active for 2 raids consecutively, so that's 2 years of endgame content that she has access to. I mean, just the utility, the cleanse, the dispel on the basic, just a very good role player on a Jedi team to throw her into. Now going back to the bottom, Kyle Katarn, he's more of a rebel fighter than a Jedi, but he is quite useful on that team. He does typically make the squad, even in 3v3 with Saw and Luthen, because he's the damage dealer. It gets a boost to a Mon Mothma team, turn meter wise. Ayla, she's bumped up because they gave her, she would normally be a C, but they gave her a rework with one ability that has 18 paragraphs in it, and it really jacks up the Mace team. We have yet to see it in 5v5, like at a season of 5v5. So there's no perfect time to record a ranking, but I am doing it now, and just speculation-wise, she does have some value on a relevant team. Even so, I could not bump her above Grandmaster Yoda. Grandmaster Yoda has fallen quite far in his tenure. I think he was 8. I put him in the A tier last time I did this ranking, but he's just way too flimsy. I love his kit still. I love the passing buffs, the bonus turn, all the turn meter, but he's just way too flimsy. It's hard to decide to use him when there's so many other great Jedi to use. He's not a leader. He's not necessary in any team, but he's pretty versatile and flexible. He's really good in the early game. He's actually really helpful for the Jedi Assault battle. But anyway, Ahsoka Tano, I think just pound for pound, Yoda is like better than her, but she has a really permanent spot on one of the best teams in the game, the JMK team. It's not the best team in the game anymore, but it's one of the most evergreen teams we've ever had. And her value, just assisting all the time, dispelling buffs constantly, cleansing, it's all really valuable. Plus, she has a pretty nice ship. Kyle Katarn has a ship, but it's like the most useless ship in the whole game. Mundi, just a little bit ahead of Ahsoka, and it's not because he has a more valuable spot in the the meta game. It's just he is more competent. He just does a lot more damage. Just a really strong character overall. He's single target, but he can hit like crazy on a Qui-Gon team. So I just do think overall he has more competence. Hermit Yoda is mid B tier. Just good value. I mean, Master's Training is a pretty unique buff in that it lasts the whole match. It gives lots of boosts to whoever it's on, especially Jedi, and he usually finds play somewhere. Even among most of the time on a JML team, you have a bunch of legendaries and then Hoda, so he definitely earns his stripes here and there. Deepa Balaba, this is kind of, a ranking just based off of where I think she's going to be because she's relatively new. I don't have the most experience with her. I only have her at gear 11 at the present. Same with Jedi Temple Guardian, but I'm just ranking them based on where I think their value is. I think Jedi Temple Guardian has a little bit of an edge on utility just because of the stat boost he gives in Grand Arena and just that nice use as a tank. And you could put him with JMK and he's going to be a pretty decent tank boosting up that team. Qui-Gon kind of in the middle of there. When his Omicron came out, it was completely revolutionary. Now it's just kind of like, it's a thing, it's there in the end game at least. But a lot of times he sits the bench for me. On my small account, for new players, mid-game players, he's a very useful tool. On defense, you can put weak people with him, and then Anakin gets triggered and really messes people up. Or you can take him on offense to take out a lot of non-GL teams, or at least have a chance. He's got a very versatile skill set or usage points for a smaller account. And then we already talked about Shakti. So that's the B tier. That's the largest tier, as it typically should be. Now we're really getting to the cream of the crop, as I always say. And we kick the A tier off with Keller and Beck at the bottom, Jedi Knight Anakin, Joe Costanu, Master Qui-Gon, GK, Padawan Obi, Mace, Revan, and Jedi Knight Cal. Now, this is a lot of really strong characters, really strong Jedi. They play key roles on teams, but they're not the star of the show in and of themselves. Keller and Beck, he barely makes it into A tier in Grand Arena. I just totally think he is not A tier material, but his TW Omicron is so good. It is so nice. You can basically take out any non-GL, not any, but like so many non-GL teams just because of the crazy damage you have. The survivability, it's just insane. He's also been active in 2 consecutive raids, so he has been quite valuable, especially right now, Order 66. He is pretty valuable, but it's mainly the TW consideration I'm giving to him. I don't really use him in TB or, Grand Arena is just very hit or miss for him. Qui-Gon's a better leader in Grand Arena, but I don't know, kind of the whole mix, I get a bump up. Jedi Anakin, he is a very strong character on land and in ships. I'm giving, it might be more of ships that I'm giving him the nod here. He is still the most crucial role on a Qui-Gon team, and without him, Qui-Gon is very much not so impressive. He really needs Anakin to be that full damage threat. When Qui-Gon dies, he has one of the biggest AoEs in the game, can't be evaded. He's great on a Padme team too, but it's just been so long since that was kind of like the recommended thing. I mean, in TW, for a mid-game account, you're going to use him with Padme and not Qui-Gon, because Qui-Gon sucks. But yeah, Anakin's awesome. He was my first Relic character. I'm pretty sure it was my first. It was my first or second on the Small Go Tanks account. That's because of ships. Just really, really valuable character. Every new player should get him and build him up as much as you can. Relic 7's fine. I've Relic 8 on my main, Relic 9 on my main account, actually. I think. It might be 8. I forget. But anyway, Joe Costanu. She is the bottom of A tier. But she could... my mind could easily be changed on this in the coming weeks as we go into our first 5v5 season with Jedi Master Mace Windu, which... obviously, we don't see him yet, so you know where he is. She's just got there's a very big looming threat with her. But anytime I faced her in Grand Arena on my main account, she's just been kind of an afterthought. I kill them so easily when it's under Keller and Beck. So her value is going to be very much derived from Jedi Master Mace, but it's It's just a funny character that we have her, the old librarian from Attack of the Clones. It says, if it's not in the archives, it does not exist. And she's got this massive gun, and it vaporizes people, but it's pretty cool. Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan, I'll talk about them together. Both phenomenal on one of the best non-GL teams in the game in Queen Amidala, and best not just Grand Arena, it's awesome in TW. Just very strong team. And Qui-Gon, honestly, on that team, is kind of pulls his weight a little bit more than Padawan Obi-Wan. I mean, Obi-Wan is there for the damage, but Qui-Gon does some impressive damage, even without critting. His utility is superb. The reason I'm bumping Padawan Obi-Wan above him is his Omicron is probably the most valuable Omicron in the game for a smaller or newer account. And I can't believe I overlooked it for such a long time, but on the GoTanks account, there's elements of Conquest, because I have the Omicron on that account. On my main account, I save all the Omicrons for Grand Arena. And there are elements of Conquest that are just easier with my small account. Because I just, Padawan Obi-Wan, I don't even have to think about it. He can beat basically anything. He gets so many feats done, those buffs, those debuffs. It's fantastic. And he's no slouch in, Grand Arena or anything. So honestly, he could probably even go higher. But this is why I thought was fair. Higher A tier. General Kenobi split in the middle of them. He is behind his younger self, and he's sad about it. He looks a little grumpy there. He just about looks as old as his former master. He's way younger in that movie, or the Clone Wars. Anyway, he's a phenomenal tank. He is the consummate, just versatile tank. You could put him anywhere. He works best with Galactic Republic, especially JMK. But passing out crit immunity to anyone that gets, you breathe on someone, they get crit immunity. It's like a referee in basketball when there's a superstar, and if you touch them, you get fouled. That's kind of the same thing. Like if you touch someone, crit them, they get crit immunity. It's awesome. He hands out 4 sides of the candy. His abilities are all generic in that they apply everywhere, or not all of them, but like his cleanse is generic, his mass assist is generic. It can apply on any team. So the longest time, whenever a new kit came out and they had recommended characters, it was like General Kenobi, like 2016, 2017. But yeah, awesome character. Mace, I love Mace. If you get him to R9, he has comparable stats to General Kenobi. General Kenobi has a little bit higher overall health and protection. But Mace is so much more than just a tank. He's like a support character and an attacker and a tank all in one. He's just phenomenal. The Shatter Point, the turn meter swap, the stunning, the ability block, just he's amazing. I love Mace. The stealth spell, such a valuable Swiss Army knife in life. Love this guy. I did give Revan just a slight edge over him because Revan is such a valuable leader. Both early, mid, and in some cases in the late game, you can make good use out of him. I think he's the best Jedi leader besides, like, generic Jedi leader besides JML. JMK's focused on Galactic Republic, and there's other Jedis that are leaders, but they're not really about Jedi. But Jedi Revan does so much, with the Savior and the Mark, all that stuff. Cal edges him out a little bit, although Cal is a pretty much exclusively offensive tool just because his AI is so dumb. I wish they would fix that. They fix so many things. Just make him have the intelligence to switch his formation so he will eventually get an insta-kill. He is useless on defense because all he will do is the armor shred move. I think it's the armor shred move is the only one it is. That's it. It's so bad, and it's so sad because his kit is amazing. Like his utility, it's just he's a Swiss Army knife too. I feel like all 3 of these are just Swiss Army knives, and maybe that's just a term I give to characters that can give someone else a turn. But Jedi Cal's got cleansing, the insta kill, the armor shred, the stat boost he gives passively, like the damage reduction or offense reduction just from his the move that cleanses people. That in alone is so valuable, and he's just across the board a super impressive guy. And what I love about him is his Omicrons or TB. And he's awesome even without the Omicrons because they made him good for other game modes. But in TB, he's completely transformative if you give those Omicrons. I don't recommend it. But just an awesome character. Top of the A tier. If he was good on defense, he'd probably be S tier. And now, to conclude, we have the S tier. The top dogs of the Jedi Order. Jedi Master Mace, maybe controversial being lower. Jedi Knight Luke, Gas, Ezra, above Gas. Jedi Master Luke and Jedi Master Kenobi. Still the best Jedi in the game. So Jedi Master Mace. I don't have him. I'm sure he's fantastic on offense. In 3v3, my only experience facing him a couple times, Traya just wiped the floor with him. So that's not a great look to me. Although Traya could probably wipe the floor with a Jedi Luke team, potentially a Gas team, but I think it would be kind of scrappy. And just the value overall, I mean, he's topped up. He's one of the best characters in this new raid, but again, that is a temporary thing, so I don't try to put too much stock into that. And you know, I thought it was unfair to give him anything other than S tier, but I wanted to give him just at the kind of the bottom. Jedi Luke gets a little bit of a bump up. It's arguable. I almost put Luke below him. But what I like about Luke is his utility on PvE. That bumps him up a little bit. I mean, he's really nice in Grand Arena and Territory War. I love those characters, those little characters that are still really good, but weren't forced to have 3 Omicrons to limit their abilities. But the AoE irresistible stun, his lead is really useful in TB and in Conquest from a smaller team. Like, I use Padawan Obi-Wan and Jedi Luke together on my small account, and it's just phenomenal. So I think he's a pretty awesome Swiss Army knife. He is transformative in the assault battle, so he's just a really great value. Whereas he's not like a lead man on his own team that's kicking butt in Grand Arena and Kyber 1 in 2025. That's a lot of ins, but I think he's awesome. Gas. So this is a bit of a change in posture. I've taken over time and exposure to Ezra, using Ezra, facing Ezra, reading tons of comments complaining in my top 25 character ranking that Ezra is the second coming. He's the second coming of the Chosen One in Star Wars. He is the actual Chosen One. Anakin's not the Chosen One. It's Ezra Bridger that has his hobo beard and is living in shanties in another galaxy. He is the actual Chosen One. But, you know, Gas, I still think he is extremely valuable. One of those non-Omicron characters. He's best with a 501st team, but just some of the things he does, he can't really get many other places. The cooldown reduction on crits, the health reduction, very valuable. Revive prevention, generic in the leadership. Attacking twice per turn. And with his clones, you know, he can really take down some stuff. In TW Grand Arena, I mean, TW, he's actually a little bit better in TW than Grand Arena because you can take out Rey potentially. But as a Jedi, if you just said, forget about the 501st, use him as a Jedi, he's fantastic on a JMK team or a JML team. He's like, if I am playing TB and I'm trying to pick the best Jedi team I can get, he's always at the top of the list. Like, I am just thinking in my mind, if I can make the best Jedi team possible, I'll pick JMLs to lead. The second person I'm picking is Gas. That's just my sense about it. However, that being said, Ezra is something else. He's really annoying. He is the Matrix man. He dodges like crazy. He's a support, but he's also a tank. He has dodge mastery. He's like, hey, look at me, look at me. You gotta attack me, but you can't hit me. And I'm going to kick your butt. I'm going to do so much damage over time, whether I'm with Ahsoka or Rey. I would just do so much damage because he has perfect mastery. It's like, I think it's like crit damage, crit chance, and like dodge. It's scale. His damage could scale to the roof, and his evasion could scale to the roof. That's the best defensive set there is. If you can't hit someone, it doesn't matter if you have defense. You just don't take any damage. So he's insane. I mean, he is not the lifter. He is like the main show for Rey or Ahsoka wherever he goes. He's just completely incredible. And in my Conquest unit ranking video, I think that's what it was. I made the joke that he's like toying around. He's like, it's kind of like One Tree Hill or something. He toys around with 2 girls, and they can't make up he can't make up his mind. Neither of them is sure who he'd end up with. But at the end, he grows up and marries one of them. I said he sticks with Ahsoka, but maybe it's Rey forever. But Ahsoka's really kind of locked behind him, so she really loses a lot, where Rey can kind of carry her own a little bit better without him. But anyway, that brings us to our 2 Galactic Legends, and I think it's an easy call. I mean, I did a full Galactic Legend ranking recently. JMK was way better than JML, and he has been. I mean, he's been, for the longest time, he was just like the best team in the game, and so much that they have to make every new kit like have specific anti-Kenobi, anti-Commander Ahsoka Tano mechanics in it. But he's still super valuable. Even right now, as of the present, the Darkseid Ray, Focus Datacron is just wreaking havoc on the landscape, and JMK is one of the only guys that can take care of it. But in 3v3 at least. I don't know about 5v5 yet. But yeah, the durability, the insta-kill with Cat on his team is great. You know, you take her away, it's kind of like the problem of Ahsoka. He loses a lot, but she's usually with him, so it's fine. JML is still fantastic. I mean, he is a GL, and he's really useful in PvE. Conquest, he's phenomenal. There's still a lot you can do with him in Grand Arena on offense, but it's mainly 5v5. He really wants a whole team. 3v3, he loses a step. And, you know, with the Lord Vader buff, he's really taking a hit. But he can beat Leia. He could beat Lord Vader with the Maul, the old school setup. He can beat JMK. You need to... It's a very manual process. You need to make sure you're doing things right. He can beat Rey. It's a little tricky. He can beat Springler Kylo, I think, except with this new, like, if there's super cron buffing up, he has a lot of trouble, but he's awesome. And on defense, he's not that great. I mean, Sith Eternal wipes the floor with him, but anyway, that's the whole list. This is my tier list, bottom to top, top to bottom. I'm sure you could argue with it, but I'm not ashamed with really anything. I mean, I look at just snap judgment when I look at the final result product I put out. I don't have any complaints, so I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I think I'm less likely to get any scathing critiques of what are you thinking? But some people will find a way, I'm sure. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Jedi tier list ranking video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.